All right, hey everybody, Ben here with We Go Fishing. Welcome to another live stream. Let me know how the sound is because we are doing something a little bit different with the sound tonight. Karen should be joining us very shortly. She is on her way. Cohen has baseball, so we are kind of like in those parenting, you got your kids going everywhere. It's just one of those things. So thank you for joining us for this live stream. There is a QR code in the top corner. You see that, and that is a link to our We Go Fishing store. And in the store, you'll be able to find a couple of different things. First of all, being our popping corks. This is the original one with the post, the traditional style. It's got reflective beads. It's weighted so that it pulls down. It really throws well. It's got a concave top there for making the pop on the water. And it's got beads inside. I make these all myself right here in Texas, where we are located. And then there is the Rattler edition as well. The Rattler edition, the same type of thing, reflective beads with the weight, but it has a 60-pound mono in the middle of it. Gives a lot of good action there. And so it's got reflective beads on top as well in the same concave design with the beads to make that nice rattle. Those two are available in the store. And then also we are going to start selling our crab rulers. Look like that. These are for Texas crabs. Also, if you are in a state that has a 5-inch crab, you can actually use it for that. And then it's got the size for the stone crab claw on that side as well. So you can check those out. That'll be in the store hopefully next week. And we do have some fishing rig holders. I don't know that I'm going to be making these anymore, but we do have fishing rig holders as well that are in the store. So you can check out all of those things. And I think that is Aaron coming in now.
Yeah.
All right. Let me go ahead and mute the mics real quick. All right, her mic is on now, so we're good. And like I said, let us know how the mics sound because we're trying out something that's a little bit different. We had the mic, the snowball that was sitting there, and that worked out well.
I like the snowball, but
Yeah.
we can try new
But we're
things.
gonna try new things and see how
I'm
that
not
works.
an old person that can't change.
Can't change, yes.
So-
So we're gonna try. I was showing them the popping corks, and we had our first.
The ones that sold out.
Yeah, this was actually the ones that sold out. The Rattler edition was the one that actually sold out, and we did our first festival this weekend, and they really sold well. I was really shocked and surprisingly shocked that how well things sold. So that was really good. And there's a QR code in the corner as well to our store. I put a little QR code. I'm pointing at the screen.
You're pointing at the screen that they can't.
Was it like that? Yeah, like there. Like that.
I don't know. Ask them.
I don't know. It's on that side. It's up there. But you can click on that. And we are selling, I said, the crab rulers are not in the store yet, but hopefully they will be this week or early next week. I'm hoping. I got to take pictures and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's what we got going on. And we dropped a new video this week on the Salty Captain, cleaning our boat products. We dropped that, and that was good. That was fun. Good product. And so if you're looking for something to clean your boat, car, RV, whatever it might be, they've got a bunch of products for that. So you can check that out. So it was really good. And hoping to drop a new video out on Monday on the best lures for pier fishing. Hopefully drop that out. And I'm in the process of mixing down a video from our last trip that we took where we just absolutely slayed the fish. It was crazy. We had trout, flounder, gar, redfish, all of the above. We were just absolutely slamming. So
the boat trip. Yeah, but we also slammed it on the beach. So I wasn't sure which one.
Yeah, but that one doesn't have a video. That one didn't take video of.
Oh, we didn't?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no.
So anyway, but the boat trip we did.
Okay.
So we got those coming out hopefully, and we got our first cold front.
Yep, it got chilly.
Yeah, it was
long
44 degrees this morning. I know. Well, kind of.
Well,
not long sleeves. I don't like long sleeves. That's my problem. But 44 degrees this morning.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And a full moon.
And we have a full moon.
Oh, we also have a birthday shout out to my niece Elizabeth.
Oh, niece Elizabeth's birthday. All right. Yeah. Very
Elizabeth Breeze. Happy birthday.
All right. So what are we talking about tonight? We are talking about live bait fishing. We do a lot of live bait fishing, partly because we go fishing with kids, we go fishing with family. Not all of them are very adept with lures. And so live bait fishing is something we do pretty regularly. I know a lot of you guys are lure enthusiasts, and I like to use lures as well. I use paddle tails, we use gulps, we use
we go by
spoons,
ourselves,
we use shrimp. Yeah, we use all kinds of things like that. And I know some of you are like purists and it's like, oh, live bait, I can't just do that. But if you're going fishing with less experienced anglers, family, young kids, I think it's a good thing to use live bait because they don't have to put all the work in. The bait is going to do some of that work. I'm do some of that work for them. So there are some keys though, defining success in that. And this comes from takemefishing.org. This was about a little bit ago, but I thought it was helpful. So I thought I would share it with you and see what you guys think. If you have any comments about that, and if you're here in the chat, let us know because I would love to hear from you about this. But it says live bait fishing success is dependent on much more than just choosing and hooking a bait. Here are some key things to know regardless of what you're fishing for. Using live bait can be very eventful, productive, but it's not a guarantee of having success over use of dead bait or artificial lures. That's true. Sometimes with live bait, you can't really go hunting for the fish, so to speak. You're pretty much staking out a spot and just working that spot with that bait. It's going to be harder with live bait to move around a lot. You're going to be moving from spot to spot to spot, but you're not going to be trolling with it or things like that. It's going to be a little bit difficult to do that. Some anglers have preference for using live fishing bait. However, with some saltwater and freshwater fish species, live bait fishing is preferred. It generates good success. And I would say, yeah, I mean, generally it does. It's good. So there's some different live baits to use in freshwater versus saltwater. We're not really talking about that tonight. I'm not really talking about what baits are good for which water because that's going to be highly dependent upon where you are. So, if you're on different coasts or if you're in the Gulf or if you're freshwater fishing, it's going to be different. But here we go. Here's number one. Use fresh bait.
Not dead ones?
Well, I guess if you're using live bait, that's going to be important.
Yeah.
But you want your bait to be fresh and lively. You want to keep it, and that's why we use aerators. Aerators help with that. There's some drops you can put in the water that helps with that. But if the bait is dying and kind of lethargic, it's not going to produce the action that you would want from live bait. So having fresh bait is important. A lethargic minnow is just as bad as a dead one, so replace the bait frequency. That's another thing is people say, oh, you're wasting it. You're not wasting it if it's not working. If it's dead and it's not good, then then just change
Toss it out and get another one.
Yeah, shrimp die, minnows die. We were using shiners the other day. They die. Shad die very quickly.
Yeah, little shiners die instantaneously.
Yeah, they hit the water.
Yeah, I know. Okay, this one's not live.
Yeah, it's not working. So, number two, use bait that is common to the area. That's important.
I mean, we try, but like I said, the shiners die.
Yeah, because this is part of what we talk about when we say match the hatch. You want to match the bait that's actually in the water. Mm-hmm. So in other words, if you were in a bay system, squid's not going to work all that well, generally speaking. Now, if you're in Chesapeake Bay, some other bays connected like
around here, people talk about using soft crab all the time. Well, around here, we don't have very many soft crabs.
No.
And
we use blue crab. Yeah. We do use blue crab.
But soft crab doesn't seem to work.
Blue crab, shrimp, mud minnows, mullet, piggy perch, croaker. Mm-hmm. You're matching what's in the water. That's really what it comes down to. Don't use baits that are not found there because the fish aren't used to seeing them.
Matter of fact, that big old red we caught on the beach, I caught a croaker. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess there's croaker in the water. But I didn't want to catch it. But when I did, I realized it was the perfect bait size for a bull red. And I said, well, croaker's in the water. Croaker going to make noise. I'm going to put the croaker as bait. We threw it out. We got hit with a giant bull red. Yeah, and
that's happened a few times where we've caught something and we either cut it up or put it back out live, and there you go. Mullet's another example of that where that does happen as well. So that's important to make sure that you're using bait that's common to areas. Also, use the right size. Mm-hmm. Again, that's part of matching the hatch. You can't use baits that are too big or too small for the time of year of fishing. We're coming up in the fall. The bait size is at its maximum. The baits are all going to be at their biggest. So you're going to use big baits in the fall. In the winter, don't use big baits. use smaller baits because there's not as much bait around. In the winter and then in the spring, the same thing, smaller baits. And then you kind of, as it comes into summer and comes into fall, your baits get bigger and bigger. And so using the right size, it should be correlated again to what's in the water. Small fish catch large fish, that's true. But just because it's a big bait doesn't mean they're going to eat it. I have caught some of the biggest reds that I've caught on little baits because that's what's there. And that's
time of year.
Time of year. Mm-hmm. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Use the right size for the right times of year and those conditions. Store it in the proper conditions. Keep the live bait fish well aerated and at proper temperature. Temperature is a big thing because if the water gets too warm, the fish die.
Yeah, keep it out of the sun.
Keep it out of the sun as much as possible.
Save yourself some favor.
So that's a good suggestion. We do use aerators. We use bubblers, and that's important. So
proper containers.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to vary with the bait species. You can use bait buckets and minnow buckets and all that kind of stuff. One of the things you've probably seen in our videos, I took one of those little igloo, the little red cooler, and I just drilled a hole in the top to stick my aerator through. It's already insulated, so it's going to keep the bait nice and cool. And I use that, shrimp. And it works really well for keeping the bait alive. It works better than a bait well. It works really, really well. So I really have, that's something I would suggest. They're like $12. And all you need to do is get $12. You get your aerator. What I did was I actually ran, what do you call them? Zip ties around the outside of it. Yeah. So I could hang my
net,
my bubbler and a bubbler and my net on it. So it worked out well. Yeah. And it's nice and insulated and it works. All right, let's see. Store it in the proper container. So proper conditions, proper container. Live non-fish baits as earthworms, leeches. No use leeches.
Ew. Just keep going. We never said that.
Crickets, shrimp,
oh no,
and so forth. I use crickets. I have used crickets. Also need to be proper container, preferably insulated, and with their proper bedding material. And that's also true because we used to fish with these little things. I don't know what they were called. They were like little shrimp, but they were in sawdust. And I think we call them like grass shrimp or something like that. But keeping them in there, like you keep earthworms in the container, you want to keep.
But that's kind of obvious, right?
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. People, they think they can just move it out. By the way, if you are joining us, we should be live on Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. So make sure that you let us know that you are here if you are with us tonight at this late hour for a live show. Use the right hook. Use the right hook. Proper hook selection. That's going to be, what hook are you going to use? You don't know.
Well, I mean, it depends on the fish.
It depends on the fish.
I mean,
part of this is the size of the hook.
I mean, if you're going for smaller fish, use a smaller hook.
Well, if you're using smaller baits, use smaller hooks too. You can't use a real big hook on small baits because it's not going to work.
We did have trouble using the hooks we were using to catch some of the smaller. We kept getting misses, and so
downsize the hook. Yeah, so using the right hook is important, and we'll get to this at the end of this. But also in some areas, you have to use certain hooks in order to fish properly. Use an appropriate hooking technique. I guess again, not all live baits hook the same way. It sounds stupid, but it is true. When you're hooking, you want to keep the bait alive, so you don't want to like kill it by hooking it through its face or something like that. You want to keep it, you want to keep it alive. So that's going to be lips, nostrils, upper back, tail, all that kind of stuff is important. And you're going to want to do that. Then when you're hooking it, whether it's worms and you're wrapping it on there, one of the things that's definitely important to point out on this is that you're going to want to, when you use your hook, make sure the tip of the hook is exposed. Yeah.
Well, that's important.
And if you're using a mullet or something like that, you want to make sure the scales are gone. Because if you have a scale on that tip, it can stop a hook set. So make sure the tip of that hook is exposed and cleared
of
anything that's there. Using the right weight. That's not, I think that's somewhat important, but it depends on the water conditions and how the current's moving, how deep you're going. A lot of that's going to be dependent on that. My rule of thumb for weight, just if you're interested, I use the least amount of weight possible for the current and area I'm fishing. So I start with something light. If that doesn't work, I'll go heavier. But I try to go with the lightest weight I possibly can with that. Using a leader is also a helpful one. Improves the action of the bait. I always use leaders with mine. I'll hook it directly onto the braid. I'm always using
Although
leaders.
you said you had a new way to tie on leaders.
I do.
You haven't shown me yet.
I have not shown it.
But you'll have to.
I will have to. It's quicker. It's more reliable. I think it's simpler. It's straightforward. I'll have to do that. Maybe that's something we'll have to do. And number 10, select a circle hook.
If you're fishing for sharks.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, that's some of that's regulations. We use kale hooks. They're kind of like a cross between a circle and an octopus, and we use this. They're legal here, but in some areas they're not legal. In some areas you have to use circle hooks, especially for sharks, stuff like that. And I would also say, if you are not going to be tending your rod, if you are just going to be sitting it there and you're not paying attention to it, consider using circle hooks so you don't gut hook fish. That's one of the things that's one of the reasons why people say go to circle hooks, is because the chance of gut hooking a fish is lower. You can still gut hook a fish if you're using circle hooks.
They can still swallow it.
They can swallow them, and they do. But it is lower. It is something that is helpful. So make sure you check out your local fishing regulations when you are considering what hook to use. So these are some things I just kind of help you out with the live bait to kind of get you on those fish, some techniques that hopefully help you. These 10 things, these 10 suggestions, kind of give you some tips and tricks when you're considering live bait. One of the things that I would definitely say too is go to your bait store and ask them, where do people catching stuff on? That's going to be helpful. So in any case, yeah, I think that'll do. All right. You ready for the question?
Sure.
You sure? All right. Here's the question that we're going to be answering tonight. Let me go ahead and share this tab. Actually, before I do that, we get our questions courtesy of the Premier Fishing and Hunting Discord server. That's where I go to get this. This is where we all hang out. There's a bunch of us in there, a bunch of people that just answer questions, helping each other out, posting pictures. The outdoors, there's an outdoors a channel that also you can find them when they're in there, but they also do a weekly picture photographer of the week based upon that. So all that's there in the Discord service. You can join us in there and hang out with us there. And I made sure that link does work so you can actually get to it. So here's the question that we are going to be answering. Let me see if I can get this up here. There it is. Monster Bass subscription service. Are any of you subscribed to Monster Bass Fishing Box? And if so, are you satisfied with the box? Full disclosure, I am not subscribed to the Monster Bass subscription.
But we did do a fishing box.
I was thinking about that. Yes, we did. That one, matter of fact, if you go, this is going to be quite embarrassing.
What?
But if you go all the way back to the beginning of our channel,
really?
There is an unboxing of a fishing club. Yeah, and I went back and I watched that video before we went live here.
And how old is it?
4 years. Almost 5.
And we were bad, huh?
We've learned some things along the way.
Don't go and watch it.
I didn't have any more hair than I have now. If that's any consolation. And I don't think I'm much fatter than I was then. So I don't know if that helps you out any.
But I do remember for Christmas or something, I got you a subscription.
Father's Day. It was a Father's Day.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Father's Day. I went back. Matter of fact, I said my wife has got this for me for Father's Day. And so I was subscribed to one for a little while, maybe 3 months or so. And I went back and when I unboxed it, I looked and I said, oh, that stuff was in there? And I was like, wow. And I started remembering those things. So I thought it was interesting because we did do, that's one of the benefits I think of doing the YouTube channel like we do it. It kind of is a history of our fishing and how we've developed over time. But anyway, I went back and I looked at that and yeah, I was subscribed. It was actually called
Mystery Fishing.
Mystery Fishing Box. And it was a saltwater edition. I made sure of that. It was because they had different ones apparently.
Yeah,
freshwater,
I got the saltwater edition, but at the same time, I wasn't sure I liked a mystery all the time.
Well, that was part of it. Is that the idea of getting surprise baits and lures? That's kind of fun because you never know what you're going to get. You know, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But the question was, are the things in the box helpful? Are you actually going to use them? And they say that lures catch more fishermen than they catch fish. And when I looked back, and it was kind of funny because I said it in the video. I said, I get these boxes and so far haven't caught anything on. Like, I've been trying to catch stuff on them and I just have not caught anything on them. So I thought that was kind of funny as well. But anyway, I tried. Now the question he had was, are you satisfied with the box? Well, I went back to the box that I got, and that's all I really have to go off of. And the stuff it came with was actually very practical stuff. It was jig heads. There was a gold spoon. There was 2 different types of lures. One was a paddle tail lure, one was a shrimp style lure. And then there was a hard bait as well. And then there was a shrimp lure. All of it good stuff. I mean, you know, like, it wasn't stuff that was worthless. I'm sure I used it all. I didn't remember using it all.
But you just didn't seem to catch a lot on those lures. Like,
yeah, the lures, because part of it is, I think part of it with lures is you have your go-to lures, and when you're catching on your go-to lures, you tend to not go after the other lures. So I think that's part of it is
now a bass fishing box might be different because I think we've used all kinds of different colors of spinners.
Oh yeah.
Different colors of worms, and it's almost like with bass, depending on the day, you need a collection.
Yeah, you got to have a collection.
You know, like, you're going out for the day, you need a collection. And so a variety box might actually work for this. For saltwater, you might be, this is my go-to. But for bass, like, you're going to lose spinners to tree limbs. You're going to lose stuff to getting stuck, you know, on different rocks or whatever. Like, we lose spinners.
Oh, yeah.
So if you know, they're like $8 a piece now. So, you know, if it's good, maybe it'd be fun to use some different ones. Bass are different fish. They like to just strike because. Yeah.
Well, and that goes
they're
for
interested.
Like, redfish, and I think a lot of fish are like that, where they're reaction strikes. But
especially bass, I would think, because sometimes they're not even hungry. Yeah. They're just finding it because.
So when the guy says, when the guy. Butter Me Boy
are you satisfied?
Are you satisfied with the box?
We can't really tell him.
There's no way to know that because every box is going to be different.
Right.
And so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to say, is it producing results for me? And I think that would be the evaluative thing for any of these subscription services. Is it producing results? Now, for me, it didn't.
But it was kind of fun for like 3 months. So if you want to do like the shortest, like usually it's
it was fun. And then they had some stuff in like stickers and, you know, that stuff like that.
Try like a 3 month or something.
But the satisfaction is going to be highly subjective. The only question I would say is it worth what you're paying for it? I don't know. You bought it as a gift, but when I looked at them, most of them around 15 to 20 bucks for the subscription. Do you get 15 or 20 bucks worth of stuff? Yeah, you do. I don't think it was a bad value in the sense of were you getting what you paid for. If you went out and bought, let's see, it was 2 packs of soft plastics. So those are going to be about $6 or $7 a piece. And then you've got your gold spoon, which is going to be another $3 or $4. You got your jig heads, which was going to be another couple of bucks. So by the time you add it up, is it at least $20 worth of stuff? Yeah, it probably is at least 20 bucks worth of stuff. So that's part of what you got to evaluate too when you're saying, are you satisfied? Is it producing any results? And is the value there for what they're providing me? Is it stuff that if I went out and bought it, it would cost me what this box would cost? Now, that being said, some of the stuff you're going to get in there, you're not going to use it. It's going to be the wrong color. It's going to be the wrong jig for that area. I did give some of it away. But that really does depend. They're fun. It's always fun to get surprises. Tackle is tackle. I've got a drawer over there in my cabinet just absolutely full of tackle that people have sent me. So, so I would say get it, enjoy it. If it's not producing the results that you want, cancel it. And then see if it's producing results and you're just like, hey man, this is a lot of fun, because I like I mean, you could do some really fun stuff. What I was anything for a YouTube channel, you could do challenges with it. Like, hey, this was this box this month. I'm going to use just what's in this box and try and go out and catch fish. I mean, that could be fun.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of challenge yourself that way and see if you can do it and see if that works for you. So you could have some fun with it.
Sure.
But it really just depends on you. Now, if you're saying, hey, there's only specific stuff I use, there's only specific stuff I want, then no, it's not going to be for you because it's not going to be that way. So anyway, I hope that helps. Hope that gives you a couple of ideas there when you're talking about these subscription services. Generally speaking, I do think they actually do provide at least the dollar amount that you're paying for the box. I don't think that they're gypping you on that. Now, they're getting it wholesale, of course, so they're going to save some money on that end. But if you went out and bought all of those things, I do think you're probably getting the actual cost of those items. Whether or not you're actually going to use those items, that's going to be up to you. So hopefully that helps, and I'll post this in the Discord server as well for the original poster, so that maybe it'll help him make a good decision regarding that. This weekend, what we got going on?
Cold weather.
Cold, yeah. I was thinking about maybe trying. The winds are just not there for the boat. It's going to be a little windy, I think.
I told him we could just go upriver.
They were talking 2 to 3 foot waves because of the wind.
What about going upriver?
I don't know. I'll have to see. I was thinking maybe taking a last trip down to the beach might be something, because this is probably the last opportunity this weekend.
It is, but then what about the cold?
Well, no, that's always the thing, you know. The water's still warm.
Yeah,
Water's still warm. Matter of fact, I saw there's a hurricane that might form out there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Not another one.
Yeah, right.
I'm done with it.
Right in the same spot the last one formed.
Just ready for winter already. I'm just ready to get past.
No, the matrix is broken. The matrix is broken.
My goodness. No.
And it's just now it's on repeat.
No, we're done. We're done.
No, I saw it. Elon Musk has released the robots, and the matrix is broken. There's nothing more. It's just on repeat at this point. We just have to accept it. Go catch your limit and be happy. That's it. That's all you got going for you. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this live stream, this live show. If you're on Rumble, let us know you're there. If you're on Facebook, let us know you're there. If you are on YouTube, of course, our home, and make sure that you let us know that you are there as well. And make sure you check out our store. Like I said, the QR code, it's up there in the corner. Make sure you check out our store and the stuff in it. We are going to be in an actual store starting this weekend. We will have our popping corks in our first store. And
first. Oh, you're ambitious.
Yeah, first. Maybe it'll be more. I don't know. We're going to have our popping corks hopefully in our first store this weekend. And I'll give a big shout out to them when I actually post them on that store. We're going to go there tomorrow and set them up. So that'll be a lot of fun, and we'll do that. All right, well, I guess that'll bring us to the end of this live show. If you like it, give us that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Even if you don't want any more of this, subscribe anyway. Hopefully you're having a good time with us. We're having a good time with it. So hopefully give us that thumbs up, give us that subscription. We really do appreciate that. It's all free. There's nothing that you have to pay for in any of this. So we do thank you for that. And until next time,
May the fish be with you.
Take care.